Do you ever feel like a fraud, doubting your achievements despite evidence of your success? Imposter syndrome can paralyze even the most capable individuals, but Stoic philosophy offers timeless strategies to overcome it. Rooted in logic, resilience, and self-awareness, these 10 Stoic tips will help you conquer self-doubt, embrace your strengths, and thrive with confidence. Reframe the fear. What would a Stoic do? Imposter syndrome thrives on fear of failure, being exposed, or not measuring up. This fear can feel overwhelming, making you question your achievements and doubt your potential. But as the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The Stoic approach to fear is rooted in reframing it as a tool for growth rather than a barrier. Start by dissecting your fear. What exactly are you afraid of? Is it making a mistake, looking foolish, or falling short of expectations? Now ask yourself, are these fears rooted in fact or perception? Often, imposter syndrome arises from distorted thoughts, where we focus on our flaws and overlook our strengths. In this moment, pause and reflect. What if this fear isn't a warning to retreat, but a signal to prepare? Fear, in the Stoic view, is an opportunity to examine what is within our control and take action. Instead of letting fear paralyze you, shift your mindset. What steps can you take to address the specific concerns feeding your imposter syndrome? For example, if you feel unqualified, focus on improving your skills or knowledge. If you fear being exposed as a fraud, remind yourself that no one is perfect, and everyone, including those you admire, started as a beginner. Fear, when faced with clarity, loses its power. By reframing it as a guide to growth, you align with the Stoic belief that challenges exist to strengthen us, not defeat us. The next time you feel fear creeping in, ask yourself, what would a Stoic do? Would they crumble, or would they embrace the moment as a chance to become wiser and more resilient? Choose the latter, and you'll find that fear is not your enemy. It's your teacher. Detach from external validation. Own your worth. One of the most insidious roots of imposter syndrome is our craving for external validation. We often judge our worth by how others perceive us, our bosses, peers, friends, or even strangers on social media. But Stoicism teaches us to find freedom by detaching from the opinions of others. Epictetus wisely said, "Who then is invincible? The one who cannot be upset by anything outside their reasoned choice." This is the key to overcoming imposter syndrome. Learning to own your worth, independent of external approval. Imagine this scenario. You've worked hard on a project, but instead of focusing on your effort or the progress you made, you obsess over what others might think. Will they notice that one minor flaw? What if they don't see the value in your work? These thoughts spiral into self-doubt and feed your imposter syndrome. To counteract this, pause and reflect. Whose opinion truly matters? The Stoics would say it is your own, informed by reason and integrity. Begin by practicing self-reflection. Did you approach your task with effort, honesty, and intention? If the answer is yes, then you've fulfilled your responsibility to yourself. What others think is beyond your control. And as the Stoics remind us, it is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Free yourself from the impossible task of pleasing everyone. Next, challenge the narrative that external validation is the ultimate measure of success. The truth is, even the most accomplished individuals face criticism or indifference. Consider Marcus Aurelius, who ruled an empire, yet reminded himself daily to act according to virtue, not for applause. Take his advice. Focus on what you can control: your effort, attitude, and commitment to excellence. When you detach from external validation, you reclaim your sense of worth. Your confidence no longer depends on fleeting opinions, but on the solid foundation of knowing you are enough as you are. Focus on the process, not the outcome. Imposter syndrome often traps us in a fixation on results. Did I succeed? Did I impress? Did I live up to expectations? This obsession with outcomes can overshadow the value of the journey itself. But the Stoics teach us to focus on the process, knowing that effort, not outcomes, defines our character. As Seneca reminds us, the wise man is content with what has been given, without craving what is not his. Consider this: when you embark on a task, do you pour your energy into doing it well, or do you constantly worry about how it will be received? Imposter syndrome thrives when we tie our self-worth to external markers like praise, awards, or promotions. The Stoic mindset, however, shifts attention inward. Did you act with integrity? Did you give your best? If so, you have already succeeded. To adopt this approach, start by redefining success. Instead of measuring it by outcomes, measure it by effort and growth. For instance, if you're preparing for a presentation, focus on refining your knowledge and delivering with clarity rather than obsessing over whether the audience will be impressed. This shift reduces the pressure of perfectionism and allows you to enjoy the process. Moreover, understand that the outcome is often beyond your control. The Stoics emphasize the dichotomy of control. There are things we can influence and things we cannot. By focusing only on what you can control, your preparation, mindset, and actions, you free yourself from the anxiety of uncertainty. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Each step you take, no matter how small, is progress. Celebrate the effort, learn from the process, and trust that the outcomes will align as they should. In the Stoic view, it's not about achieving perfection, but about growing with every attempt. Embrace your humanity. Imperfection is the path to growth. Imposter syndrome often whispers the lie that you must be perfect to deserve your place. It convinces you that any mistake, flaw, or lapse is proof that you're a fraud. But the Stoics teach us a liberating truth. Perfection is not a requirement for worth. Imperfection is an essential part of being human. As Seneca wisely observed, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. When you struggle with self-doubt, pause and ask, are the standards I'm holding myself to realistic, or are they impossibly high? More importantly, would I hold others to these same standards? Likely not. We tend to be far harsher with ourselves than we are with others. But the Stoics believed in the importance of self-compassion and realistic expectations. Embracing your humanity means acknowledging that making mistakes is not only inevitable, but necessary for growth. Reflect on any successful individual, whether a leader, artist, or innovator. Their journeys are marked by missteps and failures. Marcus Aurelius himself, an emperor celebrated for his wisdom, regularly reminded himself of his limitations. He wrote in Meditations, "Don't let your imagination be crushed by life as a whole. Stick with the situation at hand." This advice reminds us to take life one challenge at a time, knowing that setbacks are opportunities to improve. Practice reframing mistakes as lessons. If you stumble, ask yourself, what can I learn? Instead of wallowing in self-reproach, view each misstep as a stepping stone to becoming better. Perfection is not required. Persistence is. By embracing your humanity, You align with the Stoic principle that wisdom is gained through experience, not by avoiding flaws. Compare yourself to yesterday's you, not someone else. Imposter syndrome often grows in the shadow of comparison. You look at someone else's achievements, skills, or confidence and wonder, why don't I measure up? This mindset not only erodes self-esteem, but blinds you to your own progress. The Stoics urge us to shift our focus inward, comparing ourselves only to who we were yesterday. As Epictetus reminds us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. Start by recognizing the futility of comparing yourself to others. Everyone's journey is unique, shaped by different challenges, experiences, and opportunities. The success you see in others is often the result of years of effort, setbacks, and growth that you may not be privy to. Comparing your beginning to someone else's middle, or even their peak, is an unfair measure. Instead, turn your attention to your personal growth. Reflect on where you were a year ago, a month ago, or even yesterday. Have you gained new skills, overcome challenges, or built resilience? Celebrate these victories, no matter how small they seem. Growth is not always dramatic. It's often found in the quiet, consistent effort of showing up every day. To solidify this practice, keep a journal of your progress. Note your accomplishments, challenges, and lessons learned. When imposter syndrome strikes, revisit these entries as proof of your growth. Remember, as Marcus Aurelius said, look back over the past, with its changing empires that rose and fell, and you can foresee the future too. Your past struggles and victories are a testament to your capability and strength. By focusing on your journey rather than others, you liberate yourself from the weight of comparison. The only person you need to compete with is who you were yesterday. Redefine success. Align with your values. Imposter syndrome often arises from a skewed definition of success. If you believe that success is measured solely by external achievements, wealth, status, or recognition, you may feel like an imposter even when you've accomplished a great deal. The Stoics, however, offer a different perspective. True success, they argue, lies in living according to your values. As Seneca wrote, it is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor. Reflect on your values. What truly matters to you? Is it integrity, kindness, perseverance, or wisdom? When your actions align with these principles, you are successful, regardless of how others perceive you. This internal measure of success is far more fulfilling than chasing external validation. Consider Marcus Aurelius, who, despite his position as emperor, focused not on glory but on virtue. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This reminder emphasizes that success is not about appearing great to others, but about being true to yourself. To practice this, set goals that reflect your values. Instead of striving for accolades, aim to grow in areas that resonate with your principles. For example, if you value learning, focus on acquiring knowledge rather than earning praise. If you value collaboration, prioritize teamwork over personal recognition. By redefining success, you free yourself from the grip of imposter syndrome. You no longer need to prove your worth through external means, because your worth is already evident in the way you live. Success, in the Stoic view, is about being the best version of yourself, not about meeting others' expectations. Practice gratitude. Shift from lack to abundance. Imposter syndrome often fixates on what you lack, skills you haven't mastered, achievements you haven't reached, or qualities you think you're missing. But the Stoics teach us to focus on what we have, cultivating gratitude as an antidote to insecurity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do not indulge in dreams of having what you do not have, but reckon up the chief of the blessings you do possess, and then thankfully remember how you would crave for them if they were not yours." Take a moment to inventory your strengths, accomplishments, and opportunities. What have you achieved so far? What skills or qualities have helped you reach this point? Recognizing these assets shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance, reminding you that you are not an imposter. You are a person with unique gifts and experiences. Gratitude also helps you reframe challenges. Instead of viewing difficulties as proof of inadequacy, see them as opportunities to grow. For example, if you're facing a steep learning curve at work, be grateful for the chance to develop new skills. This perspective not only reduces anxiety, but fosters resilience. Incorporate gratitude into your daily routine. Each morning or evening, list 3 things you're thankful for, big or small. Over time, this practice rewires your brain to focus on what you have rather than what you lack. When you ground yourself in gratitude, imposter syndrome loses its grip. You no longer feel like a fraud because you see clearly that you are already enough. Your life is rich with resources, lessons, and strengths waiting to be acknowledged. As the Stoics teach, gratitude is not just a practice, it's a perspective that transforms how you see yourself and the world. Detach from others' opinions. Define yourself by your own standards. Imposter syndrome often thrives on external validation or the fear of losing it. You may worry incessantly about what others think, assuming that one misstep will expose you as unworthy. However, the Stoics remind us that true freedom comes from detaching from others' opinions. Epictetus put it plainly, "If you wish to improve, be content to appear clueless or stupid in extraneous matters." To break free from this cycle, recognize that the opinions of others are beyond your control. Whether they praise or criticize, their thoughts are rooted in their own experiences, biases, and expectations, not an objective truth about your worth. Marcus Aurelius emphasized this when he wrote, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Ask yourself, whose opinion matters most? Is it the fleeting judgments of acquaintances or your own informed assessment of your efforts and character? Define success and failure on your own terms, rooted in the values and principles you hold dear. For instance, if you value honesty, focus on maintaining integrity rather than impressing others with perfection. To practice detachment, adopt the Stoic exercise of premeditation of adversity. Imagine someone criticizing you or misunderstanding your actions. Visualize yourself responding calmly, acknowledging their perspective without letting it define you. This mental rehearsal prepares you to face real-world judgments with composure and confidence. Remember, the only approval you truly need is your own. When you live according to your principles, others' opinions, whether positive or negative, lose their power over you. This shift allows you to move forward with purpose, free from the paralyzing fear of being found out. Focus on contribution, not validation. One of the insidious traps of imposter syndrome is the constant craving for validation. You may feel the need to prove your worth through accolades, praise, or recognition. But the Stoics teach us a higher purpose. Instead of seeking approval, focus on contributing meaningfully to the world. As Marcus Aurelius advised, do what you were made to do and stop talking about it. Shifting your mindset from validation to contribution begins with a simple question: what can I give, rather than what can I gain? This perspective redirects your energy from self-doubt to service. Whether it's solving a problem, supporting a colleague, or creating something valuable, your focus on contribution dissolves the fear of inadequacy. For example, consider an artist struggling with imposter syndrome. Instead of obsessing over whether their work is good enough, they could focus on how it inspires others or communicates a meaningful message. This reframing aligns their efforts with a greater purpose, reducing the pressure of personal validation. To internalize this approach, reflect on the impact of your actions. When you contribute to a project, help a team, or create something valuable, take note of the difference you're making. This reinforces the Stoic belief that fulfillment comes from purposeful action, not external rewards. By prioritizing contribution over validation, you align with the Stoic ideal of living a life of service and integrity. Your efforts become about what you can give, not how you appear. In doing so, imposter syndrome fades into the background, replaced by the quiet confidence that comes from making a difference. Remember, you are part of the whole. Imposter syndrome often isolates you, making you feel as though you're the only one who doesn't belong or measure up. But the Stoics remind us that we are all interconnected, each playing a unique role in the greater whole. Marcus Aurelius reflected on this interconnectedness, writing, "What brings no benefit to the hive brings none to the bee." Understanding your place in the larger picture can dissolve feelings of inadequacy. You are not an isolated individual struggling alone. You are a vital part of a community, organization, or society. Every role, no matter how small it seems, contributes to the functioning of the whole. Reflect on nature as a metaphor. A single leaf may appear insignificant, but it plays a crucial role in sustaining the tree, which in turn supports countless ecosystems. Similarly, your efforts, no matter how modest, have ripple effects that extend beyond what you can see. When imposter syndrome strikes, remind yourself that your value is not measured by grand achievements alone. Even small acts, offering support to a colleague, completing a task with care, or simply showing up, contribute to the larger whole. This perspective also helps you embrace collaboration. Rather than comparing yourself to others, see them as allies working toward a shared purpose. Together, you form a stronger, more resilient whole. By recognizing your interconnectedness, you reclaim your sense of belonging. You are not an imposter. You are an integral part of something greater. This realization grounds you in the Stoic belief that true worth is found in fulfilling your role, however modest, with purpose and integrity. Imposter syndrome thrives on fear and self-doubt, but Stoicism teaches us to face these challenges with courage and clarity. By grounding yourself in purpose, focusing on growth, and detaching from external validation, you can reclaim your confidence and live authentically. Embrace these Stoic principles and transform imposter syndrome from a burden into an opportunity for inner strength and growth.